Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where I have just realized this is controlled by the Communist States of America. Well, there's not a lot we can do about it immediately, at least until after this invasion goes through, unless we want to, like... I suppose that we could send one of these units to go do it, but I think we'll hold off on that for now. We'll get there. It's absolutely fine. We're pressing in over this direction. And we expect this to go pretty well at this point. This is the last remaining center of resistance. And we've only got one army group at it, so that should be absolutely fine. Up over here, we're waiting on naval control, and we're currently repairing our navy, so this will get done eventually. Okay, they're heading back out. Perfect. So we're at 16.2%. Okay, that's absolutely fine. Of course, down over here, we're going to need to have these guys launch their invasion, which they're not prepared to do yet. But we do have the naval supremacy in this area, so that looks absolutely fine for now. Autosave is occurring. That was a very abrupt change in the music. Okay. I do want to check in on Australia. So, we're having some difficulty pushing into Australia here. They have a level 10 naval base here. So that is absolutely understood. We are intercepting some convoys, although we're not intercepting convoys here, which is where they're actually coming in from. So we're just going to come in and intercept convoys right up over here. This is the actual location where Western Australia's naval base is. So we'll do that for the moment, and hopefully we'll be able to work our way through this fairly quickly. Another thing we could think about doing is launching a naval invasion around this. And I'm going to plan that. So we're going to do this right here. So that's going to take over the location with the naval base, and we're going to have these 6 units assigned to it. They will go ahead and execute that whenever they're ready. It's going to take them 31 days. That seems absolutely fine. Okay, I saw there were 5 convoys there, and we sunk all 5 of them, so that looks good. But if we can take this location, that's ridiculous. So we'll get planning on that. In the meantime, of course, we're continuing to push through here. And this looks pretty good overall. So no issue there. Up over this direction, oh, would you look at this? We're actually attacking these areas. Apparently they have a division here. I don't see it. Apparently they have a division here too. I don't see that one either. Well, we'll see how this ends up going. It's interesting that apparently they do have divisions there. I really, really don't see them. So that's exciting. We'll see how that ends up going. But for now, I want to check in over here. How's this doing? We should be pretty close to getting this ready to launch. Yeah. I'm thinking about splitting these guys up and attacking a little bit more swiftly down over here. But I do want to send one unit up to go grab this. That'll be absolutely fine. And of course, some naval invasions will need to happen out here, of course, as well. That's all understood. The real question is, okay, we did take this. That's perfect. Are we going to get this? Oh yeah, I think we're going to. Yep, we got it. Perfect. Get up here. So we do have this naval base here. They have a naval base as well, of course. And I'm just going to set to offensive lining here. And I'm going to... That's these guys. I'm just going to assign this entire force here. There we go. Now, this is only a level 1 naval base. We can bump that up. Oh, wow. Look at our manpower. That means that we finished some coring. So let's get another core going here, or 2. I'm going to do 2. That seems absolutely wonderful. Yeah, we're very net positive in our manpower when we count the coring. It feels kind of cheap. Like, I feel like we shouldn't immediately get that. I feel like we should have to mobilize it up. It's just kind of strange, but that's not the way it works. And there's not a way we can make it work that way, so it is what it is, unfortunately. Okay, so we've got most of this under control at this point. These guys are on their way over, and we're just going to continue to attack at Visby. So that seems absolutely wonderful. They only are going to have so many convoys that they can send in here. We still don't see anyone in Visby, which is weird. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but okay, whatever. Down over this direction, I'm wondering how long before these guys are done with their prep. Very soon. Okay, that seems great, but I do want to check in up over here. Have these guys launched their attack yet? Oh, yeah. Yes, they have. Beautiful. I'm going to grab one of these units, and I'm going to move them up to here. And then we're just going to go grab up over here as soon as we can. But the other 9, I'm thinking about an invasion here. Are these separate areas? No, that's all the same area there. Okay. In that case, I think we'll keep them together for this invasion because there's not that much else to split off to, right? So we'll just do something like, oh, we need to delete this. Okay, now we can do this. There we go. And then this unit is going to make their way up over here and go grab that. Perfect. So when are we going to be ready to launch this? 47 days. Sounds good. At this point, we no longer need our navy to be up here. We just... No, hang on, we might. I'll keep our navy up here for now as well. For the moment. Okay, that'll be fine. So, if we check in on the People's Republic of the Malay Archipelago, how is this going? Well, it's going very well for us. And this isn't terribly surprising at this point, although we are starting to run into some supply issues down over here. And that, of course, means that we need to have a rail connection over here. Upgrade this rail connection. And then I'm just thinking about where these hubs are. I think it's fine as it is. We're going to have 2 hubs, one here and one here, and that should be plenty. So we'll get some levels of rail going there. These guys are pocketed, and that's actually a huge percentage of the forces that they have here. That's wild.
Hey, come out.
Get in here, wipe them out. They do have this level 10 naval base here. So we do have to pressure this quite aggressively because they can definitely get supplies in here and they can evac their troops. We really don't want them to evac their troops. So we're going to continue to pressure right here. They're retreating this direction, which I really don't care for. I'm going to have all of these guys attack here, but I want to take a look at the supply situation up here. This should be motorized, and this should... It was already motorized. It should remain motorized. Okay. This is actually solid here. I don't want them to retreat up over this way. I want to take this port location. Got it. Okay. So that's huge right there. Now, our Marine unit immediately retreated, but we have other forces on the way in there, and we should arrive quickly enough. That's excellent. That means that this entire force is going to stagger. I want these guys to actually attack here. Okay. So that looks fine for now. We're going to continue to press down this direction, and supplies are in a much better state over here. They're not perfect, but they're in a better state. Now, another thing we might want to consider doing is running a rail line up like this, and that's absolutely fine for now. So we'll go ahead and do that. Have we managed to arrive up over here yet? Yes. Go grab this. Perfect. When will these guys be ready to invade? Not for a little bit. I want to check over here. This invasion appears to have failed. Okay. We're going to try it again. Because if we can take this naval base, that ends this stalemate over here. But the real problem is the supply situation out over here. We do have this naval base here. So there is that. But we still have some supply issues out over here. And we're connected to this via river or via sea? No, that's a railway connection. Okay. Well, that's fine. I suppose we could start building a supply hub here. We'll see if we need it before this breaks open, but for now, that should be fine. So up over this direction, get in here and attack this. Wipe them out. So we'll get going on that. That is very important that this gets finished up, and rapidly. We want to stack wipe these guys, and we want to do it now. I'm fine with them potentially retreating this way, but we're pushing further out over this direction, which is also in the category of fine. We are going to run into some supply issues out over here, and that's understood. For the moment, I'm not terribly concerned about that. Breaking across these straits could potentially be interesting, but we'll see what that ends up looking like. Okay, so that is progressing slowly, but progressing nonetheless. We're about to take Palembang, and that is going to be a very big deal for us, because that gives us access to this naval base, which is already motorized, and that looks good. We also have this naval base over here, which should be motorized. There we go. So supplies are in a much better state over here. We've got this pocketed now. That's another big section of their troops. Get in here, push them back. They're going to push back across this strait, but they have no source of supply here. So that looks absolutely fantastic. Next up, this up over here I want to check on. Have we managed to make our way in here yet? The answer is no. I still can't see who's there.
Hey, come on.
Huh. I'm gonna make a save here just in case anything goes wrong. We should be able to see into that province, but I'm just going to tag over to the USA and see what's in here. We should absolutely be able to see this. What's in here? Oh, okay, they've got 6 units of infantry there. Intriguing. So we'll tag back to, let's see, we are the East India Company, which would usually be EIC, but I think in this game we're technically, our tag is Raj, because we started as the British Raj. So I think we need to tag like this. Yes, that's correct. We should be able to see into this province. I don't know why we can't, but that's very interesting that they've got 6 there. I want to pull this naval force over to here, and I want them to be on convoy interdiction. So we're going to raid convoys. So that'll be fine, and we will just continue to work on whittling them down a little bit over here. We're having supply issues in Gotland. That's not surprising. What we really need to do here is we need to bring up our naval base a little bit more, and that is indeed what we're doing. Interesting that they've got 6 there, but it's even more interesting that we can't see them. I am assuming that's a visual bug, because we absolutely should be able to see into that province. So at this point, we're not attacking over here. They are moving their forces around, and that's okay. I don't want you doing this. Let's select half of these units and attack here. Yeah, something like that. Okay, and we're busily pushing in over this way. They're going to retreat into these islands back over here, and that's understood. Oh, are we just going to make our way right across the strait? That'd be great if we did. I'd be very, very happy about that. Okay. So this is going very well over here, and this is going reasonably well as well. They actually attacked us, which they should not do. So we do have some supply issues down over this way, and I'm not terribly surprised about that. I'm going to assume that we're not going to make it across this strait, because I'm making a worst-case scenario assumption here. And I'm going to build a supply depot here, because that is going to be necessary if this is going to be a protracted fight for the strait. So we're going to get that down there, and that will be fine. Now, if we just make it across this strait, that's wonderful, and I'd be delighted. But if it's a protracted fight, that's understood, and absolutely fine. So I want these guys to continue to make their way in over here. We just want to continue to pressure this very heavily. That will be absolutely wonderful. In Australia, this is not fired yet, and we're at 29 out of 31. Okay, we do see there's a couple of units here, and I'm not surprised about that, given that it previously failed. I just want to keep trying it. You never know. We might manage to get it at some point. So here we go. We're off to do our naval invasion. Not that we expect to succeed this, but it would be delightful if we did. This is very much not expected to succeed, to be clear. Yeah. So that's a pretty heavy defeat. I'm not surprised about that one. Okay. In that case, this is not a viable course of action at this time, and we'll come back to that. Ooh, look at this. We have a toehold here. We still want supplies here, but I really want to fortify this position. That's going to be important. Supplies are very grim down over here right now, and once we get this hub built, it will be better. But I'm still going to build naval bases here, because that will be done a lot more quickly than this supply hub. I really want to fortify our toehold here on this island, because getting across that strait's a big deal. Especially when we've got so many units tied up over here. So let's launch an attack over here and an attack over here. There we go. Both of these attacks are going reasonably well at this time. I do want to pop up over here. We've got this guy here, and then we've got these 9 over here who have finished their invasion. I'm going to delete that order, and they are going to prepare a naval invasion, and this should be all of these. There we go. They're going to prepare a naval invasion down to... They're most likely to have defenses here and here. I'm thinking we're going to prepare a naval invasion to here. We would have a small amount of supply flow from the victory point. Not much, but a small amount. And we can just get started on prepping that. Yeah, they definitely have defenses in Port-au-Prince, and they probably do in Santo Domingo as well, is my guess. They may or may not elsewhere. We'll see. Okay, so how are we doing on this Australian front? Well, the answer is kinda poorly, to be honest. It's kinda poor. So that's very much not ideal. But for the moment, I'm not concerned about it. We've got it tied down. There's not a big problem there. It's just a grinding war of attrition at this point, which is not ideal. I'd prefer to have that over, but it's fine. We're up to 9% war support now, so that's neat. We'd definitely like to continue to have that come up, but it's a little rough, no doubt about that. We've had a few casualties. I say a few. We've had 111 million casualties. It's rather a lot. So down over this direction, we should be seeing our first level of naval base here, finishing momentarily. And we've also built several levels of land fort already. So that's very, very good. They're not trying to attack us at this time. There's that naval base being concluded at this point. Now, this naval base is going to be overstretched for its supplies. No doubt about that. Oh yeah, that's absolutely the case. But at least we have some amount of supply in there right now. This supply hub here is actually, this is in Northwest Australia. It's this one that we're interested in. Okay, that's going to take a while, and I'm not terribly shocked about that. So at this point, we need these guys to push out across this. So I'm going to grab the army group here. That's this army group. And they're going to offensive line out to here. But that's going to be interesting. They need to make their way across this strait. But the enemy has no supply here. We do have supply. So we should be able to at least eventually get that. Similar to this situation here. It might take a while, but we'll get there. Oh, we launched an attack here. A very small one. but an attack nevertheless. That's good. So that sounds great, and I want to check in up over here. I don't think this is going to be ready for a while yet. Autosave is occurring. We'll find out after that. Yeah, another 30 days. Okay. So that's all well and good. We could be thinking about opening up another front out over here, and what's our naval situation look like for that? Okay.
Hey, come on.
I'm going to pull this army group down to Singapore. And we're going to get this army group prepping a naval invasion from here. I'd love to go here. They definitely have defenses here. If we could take 3 locations. Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. We would come here, and then we would take something like this. There we go. And then we can get started on that. That'll take 126 days to prepare. So that's absolutely understood. Now, this up over here in Taipei, I'm not paying a lot of attention to right now. Getting the People's Republic of the Malay Archipelago out of here is going to be a very big deal. Once we do that, they're going to have a significant reduction in their number of troops. So that seems absolutely wonderful. I want these guys to launch their attack here. If we can get them down to a single province, they won't be able to retreat and reinforce back and forth, and that will be a very big deal. That means that every time one of these units tries to retreat, it will instead stack wipe. Which is exactly what we want to see. So we want to get these guys to all retreat up here, ideally, and not see guys retreating like this. Okay, we got it. Perfect.
Hey, come on.
Wipe them out. This will now go very quickly from here. And there they go. A number of their units have already stack wiped. And they're nearly all gone. We're struggling to break across this strait over here. We do have a bit of a supply issue up over here, although that will be alleviated by this logistics hub down here, so that will be definitely useful. Okay, so these guys are just about gone, and these forces will get reassigned. Not sure if they're going to be reassigned to the south or if they're going to get reassigned to the east. Looks like they are going to the south. Sounds good. So we've pushed a long ways out over here, and that needs to be motorized. There's a hub right here. That's convenient for us. We need to wait for this railway to be converted, but that hub will come online, and that will give us a very, very good point to push from. So that seems excellent. As far as pushing across this strait goes, if they're smart, they would build a they'd build a naval base here and here, but I don't think they're going to. The AI tends to not be very smart about that sort of thing, unfortunately. So we need to make our way in over here, and we need to be paying attention when this happens. This is going to be in just a few days, because we are going to need a source of supply here. So this invasion will begin, assuming that they don't have defenses here, which they might. We don't really have any intel on that, but we'll see what happens. We should be launching this momentarily. There we go. So off we go. They definitely do have defenses here. Why are you not supporting the invasion? Okay, it's moving. So we may or may not be able to push them out of here. We'll see. That's inauspicious. Yeah, I don't think this is going to happen. That's very inauspicious. So we're going to have to do another invasion over there at a probably less defended target. Oh, look at this. We're actually pushing across this strait at this point. And they're retreating this direction, which is more convenient for us than if they were to go this direction. Well, that's fine for now. This hub down over here should be providing some logistics. It is already pre-motorized, so that looks good. It's a little overstretched. We're not surprised about that. And at this point, that's very interesting. Do they have any troops out this way? Come on out here. Let's go find out. I'm just sending one unit out there to see. Also, I don't think they have anybody here. Head on in here. They don't have anyone here either. They have a unit coming here, so we probably can't get this. But there we go. Actually, that unit left. Well, that's nice. We're going to attack here. This is a victory point. That'll get us a small amount of supply flow. They're retreating back across here. That's noted. I'm not seeing any resistance out over this way. So, I mean, that's a good sign. Back over this direction, though, we need to get these guys prepping for their next invasion plan. And that's going to be invading, instead of invading here to here, it's going to be invading from here to here. Which is going to be exciting. It's going to take them a little bit to get that done.
Hey, come out.
So we're going to launch this as soon as we can. That's this army here. Yeah, that's fine. So we're going to launch that as soon as we can, but that's not going to be for another, like, 50 days. It is, however, time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we're going to see if we can take this. Actually, that looks really good. We might be about to wrap up our campaign over here, but that's fine. We're going to start a Bornean campaign, and we'll start up an invasion campaign on a lot of these little islands out over this way. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, who is not on the list anymore, that was habit. Okay, I apologize for that. Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. Dimitri H, we miss you. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time. I only update those once a month. It gets kind of ingrained.